Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Late Night Show with your host, Dr. Kojo. And we are talking about 6 things that people with autism and ADHD need at work. We have a fantastic live stream here for you all tonight. And I also will be talking about the comedy shows that we have coming up and promoting those as well. So go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you are checking in from. And let's go ahead and get situated and started. We're streaming on a couple of different platforms tonight. We're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Kick. Once again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Kick. So 6 platforms. All right. We have some love from New Zealand in the house on TikTok. Happy to have you here. Let me go ahead and make a video, put it on my Instagram so people know that we're live streaming. All right, making this video right here in real time. All right. Instagram, what's going on? Dr. Kojo here. We're streaming live right now, and we're talking about 6 things that people with autism and ADHD need to work. And we're also on a final push to push these last comedy shows or these upcoming comedy shows. All right. We have Chicago, we have Nashville, we have New York. So I'm pushing the comedy shows as well. It's going to be a fantastic live stream. Come through, show up, and show out. Obviously, I'm going to have the link right here. See y'all soon. So that's me making my video in real time. I'm making the video in real time. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop it on Instagram. And drop it on Instagram. Okay. Sometimes Instagram just glitches. I don't know why it's glitching. Let's get the video up. All right, mute myself so that way y'all hear the feedback. All right, link right here, facebook.com/ is it Kojo Sarfo or Dr. Kojo Sarfo? I should know this. Facebook.com/ I think it's no, it's Dr. Kojo Sarfo. Okay, if you don't put a doctor there, you're gonna get a random dude that is not me. Okay. Facebook.com/ Dr. Kojo Sarfo. All right, I'm gonna put come through, and then because I made this promo video live, I didn't record it multiple times. I wanted to record it again, but I'm like, nah, Kojo, just keep it authentic, keep it real funky and fresh. All right, okay, we're streaming. All right, there we go. All right, so all right, there we go. We have the IG story up and running, so people will be coming through the live stream. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me click a couple of the comments to see who is checking in here. We have Ali from YouTube. Ali, I appreciate you. Ali says that they don't like themselves that much, but support what I do. Ali, I like for people to like themselves. So I know that you're on a journey right now. Give it some time, but I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Nobody was born hating themselves, Ali. So keep that in mind. You have a lot of people who are rooting for you, not just me, but everybody within this community. Andrea from South Central Illinois. Andrea, happy to have you here. Ray, what's going on? Mickey Ficky. My favorite neurodivergent Dr. Carlos, I appreciate you. We have Leilani checking in. She's our moderator. And she's from New York City. Sure. It's not replying to multiple text messages at once. Ali, we're rooting for you. We're rooting for you. We have Britt on TikTok says, I love your videos. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We have love from North Carolina. Awesome. We have Tolu from Jersey via Cleveland. Okay. HR is trying to discourage you from. Oh, okay. Let me talk to your HR. Tolu, put your HR on the phone with me. Dr. Kojo got something to say. Dr. Kojo has something to say. Put me on the phone with your HR. Let me explain what ADHD is. Put me on the phone with them. They're bugging out. They're bugging out. Ari from Georgia is here. Good to see you. Nebraska in the house. Yeah, look, one thing that, I mean, we'll talk about it tonight, but when it comes to accommodations, I don't think people understand that there's a reason why kids have accommodations in school, right? You have the IEP and the 504. You can put a kid at the front of the classroom. You give them extra time on tests. So if people don't grow out of ADHD and autism, right? People don't grow out of it, right? That's how it is. If people do not grow out of ADHD and or autism, then why do you expect adults to not need accommodations? Adults will need accommodations because we're the same people. We're just bigger and we have more responsibilities and we have bills and we may have kids of our own, but we still need accommodations. We still need help. Oh, send me the paperwork. Put me on the phone. Put me on the phone with your HR. I'm going to send them my skits. I'm going to send HR my skits. Somebody got to educate HR. I might as well do it. Somebody got to do it. We have love from Livingston, Alabama. Kimberly, good to see you from Livingston, Alabama. I am a graduate of West Alabama, so I spent a couple of years in Livingston. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Jennifer had to bring the doctor mental health urgent care today, ADHD burnout. Go ahead and get that autism evaluation in. Go ahead and get it in. Get it in. It makes life a lot clearer once you understand what you have. And the diagnosis is not the end all be all, because once you get the diagnosis, now it's time to put together the support that you need. And once you get the support that you need as a neurodivergent individual, you can start to fly. Now you have your wings. You can fly, right? You can fly. You can fly. Tolu says, I work in childcare nonprofit. We have a literal special needs department. They're shocked by adults needing special needs. I mean, I don't know why people think this way, but especially look, if you have a special needs department, why do only kids have special needs? Guys, I am a special need adult. Okay? At the end of the day, you can be the smartest person in the world. If you are neurodivergent, you still will need some type of external support. Intelligence does not protect you from executive dysfunction. You can be Einstein level smart and you will still freeze up sometimes. You'll still have a hard time initiating tasks. It'll still be hard for you to go to bed sometimes. It'll be hard for you to focus on sending emails. It'll be hard for you to stay on task with things that you have to do. And it doesn't matter how smart you are or how talented you are. I'm a special needs adult. And I say that with pride. And I'm just doing my best to get the support that I need while educating you all on the support that you all could go out there and get as well. All right. And before I rattle off the 6 things that AuDHDers need at work, I do want to say that I'll be live in Chicago June 18th. So shout out to John. John, we have maybe 3 weeks until the show in Chicago. I'm excited for it. In between now and Chicago, we have a show in Nashville. The first show sold out. We still have tickets for the second show. Then we have New York City, June 11th. Then we have Chicago. We'll be coming to Johnstown, Chicago, Illinois, June 18th. We have tickets for the first show and the second show. The first show was almost sold out in Chicago. So we added tickets for a second show in Chicago. So that's going to be Chicago, June 18th on a Chicago Thursday nighter. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. Somebody on TikTok says, I just got here. I'm stuck for literally 6 years, I feel. No one plans better, but execution, my goodness. Oh, look, if you are neurodivergent, you are really good at planning, all right? So I'm pretty sure that everybody here who's watching this live stream, y'all are good at planning. Nobody here needs help with planning, okay? If you need help with planning, this is probably the wrong live stream. We are expert level planners, but we're pretty poor when it comes to execution of the things that we planned. We can all put together a really good plan. Like if we were planning for our lives tonight and we wrote out the things that we had to do, if we did the things that we planned, we would be fine. The issue is that the execution of these tasks is very difficult, and you're doing your best to use all the willpower you have, all of the habits that you've been able to build up, even though sometimes we can't keep up habits for a while, but you're using everything that you have to get things done. And some of us right now are in burnout. Some of us right now are dealing with ADHD burnout, autistic burnout, or just plain simple burnout or depression. When you're burnt out and or depressed, it's very difficult to do much of anything, honestly. So it's important that we find the support that we need, okay? And like I said, we're talking about 6 things that you're going to need at work. The reason why this is important is because work is how you pay your bills, right? You pay your bills by working. And a lot of the assistance that we need as neurodivergents is going to cost us some money, okay? So if money is what we need to pay for the assistance, right? Assistance in the form of medications, assistance in the form of a housekeeper, assistance in the form of extra money to pay for tickets. Like I got a ticket today. I got to pay for that, right? If we need money for these things, then that means that our jobs are very important, okay? So in order to stay at work and to not get fired, right? Or to not quit, you're going to need a couple of things, okay? And somebody mentioned cannabis helps me stay away from burnout, at least gives me more mental stamina before it hits. There are a lot of people who cannabis is their mood stabilizer and it's prevented them from burning out. I do agree with that. I know that cannabis can bring its own problems, but there are a lot of people out here who have benefited from the plant. And some people will, take a couple of puffs of the joint and go into work. Obviously I can't do that. And a lot of us cannot do that. But hey, this is one of the things that we as a community do. The cannabis usage in the neurodivergent community is sky high. And I think it's easy to see why. It's very easy to see why. Very easy to see why. And somebody says it's my only release. I understand. And this is a no judgment zone right here. Ain't no judging over here. This is a no judgment zone. All right. No judgment zone. Oh, heck no. Before I was just about to read the list, but Tolu said my housekeeper stole my Adderall. Oh my goodness. What? It's what got me realizing I'm way too trusting. You know what? This is one of my biggest fears because I leave my Adderall on my nightstand and my housekeeper has not stolen my Adderall, at least not yet. But I've had dreams or nightmares, should I say. I've had nightmares of my housekeeper potentially stealing my Adderall. And sometimes I think that I want to hide it. But, you get too busy sometimes. And I'm like, if I move it, then I could have an issue. And I keep it on my nightstand because in the morning, I hit the snooze button a couple of times, more times than I would like to admit. So I keep a water bottle and I keep my Adderall right next to the nightstand. So that way, even if I hit snooze, I still have to roll around, take my Adderall, and get back in bed. And within 30 minutes or so, I'll be awake because the mornings are very rough for me. So let's send a prayer up to God and hope that my housekeeper does not steal my Adderall. Tolu said the housekeeper has been stealing 23 pills over 2 months. The camera got disconnected. I know I got sidetracked here, but this is fascinating. It's unfortunate, but yeah, keep in mind, Adderall, Vyvanse, these are all controlled substances with a high potential for abuse. So everybody, if you have a prescription for one of these medications, it's going to make you a very popular person. Everybody wants your meds. You're a little cooler than your friends who just have antidepressants. Nobody's trying to steal Lexapro, but people may want that Adderall. So let's do a better job of keeping that somewhere stashed away where it cannot be stolen. Laura, I agree. Laura, I agree. If somebody stole my meds, yeah, I don't know if I'll call the police, but I would become very upset because me with medications and me without medications, two different Kojos, and I need my meds to function. So yeah. And speaking of jobs, Mel Ayala says, I had to quit my job because I couldn't function. And that's the inspiration behind tonight's live stream. Because a lot of us will go to work because we have to work, got to pay your bills, got to handle business. But sometimes the work is what's crushing your soul. So to free your soul, you got to quit your job. But if you quit your job, you don't have any money. So that's the dilemma here. So we need to make work tolerable. Okay? We need to make work tolerable. Hopefully, what we do, we enjoy it. But you need to make work at least, you have to establish a minimum level of tolerability in order for you to keep up that job. Okay? And that's where these accommodations and things come in handy. All right? And yeah, Taylor, all the non-ADHD people want that Adderall. It makes you a very popular person. I didn't know I had friends until I got, I think it was Ritalin I was prescribed first. I was prescribed Ritalin in college. All of a sudden, I'm the most popular person. Everybody want to be my friend. Everyone wants to hang out with me. Oh, it's because I got meds now. Okay, all right. 6 things. All right, I keep getting sidetracked. 6 things people with autism and ADHD need at work. Okay, 6 things that they need at work. Number 1, clear instructions. And I'm going to add something to that. Clear instruction and a why. Clear instructions and a why. All right. It's not just important for your boss to say, hey, this needs to be done. You really shouldn't leave it at that. This needs to be done because of this. I need you to handle these spreadsheets because we have a presentation on Thursday. I need you to do these notes because insurance is looking at it. I need you to stack these boxes because that way we'll be organized when the company people come in and they do their audits. We need to know why things need to be done, and the instructions have to be very clear. Okay? A lot of us will ask clarifying questions in order to better understand something, but people think that we're arguing. We're not arguing. We're just asking for more information so that way we can better understand something. Because when our brains don't know why it's important to do a certain thing, you're going to go searching for answers. And if you don't understand why something is important, you could put it off, you could delay it. Like, you're not really worried about it. We need to know why something needs to be done. It's very important to know the why behind something, in addition to having clear instructions. One of the most frustrating things is being at work and getting vague instructions. And everybody seems to know what to do with it, but then you're sitting there, you're stuck. It's pretty frustrating. Your boss will say, all right, guys, let's get these Excel spreadsheets in by Friday. Have a good day. You're like, okay, hold up. It's Tuesday. Get these Excel spreadsheets in. When you say get the spreadsheets in, what do you mean? Do you mean print them out and leave it on your desk? Do you mean send it as an email? Why do we need these spreadsheets to be done? Like, when you ask these questions, it makes you seem like you're a difficult person. So if the boss just gave you the clear instructions from the jump and they told you why it was needed, then you probably wouldn't be asking all these clarifying questions. You wouldn't be asking all these clarifying questions because you need to know the why. And Andrea brings up a good point. We might find a better way. From what I've seen, for people who have autism, ADHD, and also in my life as well, when I have clear instructions and a why, then I'm able to sometimes get from point A to point B in the more efficient way. And sometimes I'll take it upon myself. To go ahead and do things my way if I can still get the same end result. And sometimes you'll go a whole different way. Like you'll circumvent the system and you'll do a better job than other people. And then you present it to your boss and they're happy. They say, oh, wow, Andrea, you've done a great job. But then when they find out that you create your own rules, now they're upset because the world, by and large, doesn't like divergent thinkers. You're somewhat of a target if you're a divergent, person. You have your own way of doing things. You think differently. You forge your own path. They don't really like that, but they like the result. They like the fact that you're able to figure out a more efficient way to do things. And that's why sometimes I feel like we don't get these clear instructions, because when we get clear instructions and a why, we can figure out what is important and what's not important. And sometimes you'll finish something that's a 2.5-hour task in 45 minutes. And then now you're sitting there for the remaining time, an hour and 30, whatever. You're sitting there with the remaining time, just kind of thinking or enjoying just enjoying your thoughts. And that can make you a target at work, because sometimes at the workplace, they want to give you busy work. So that way you're always working on something. They want to micromanage. But you were able to do as good of a job, if not a better job, at the task that you were given. So, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on it. It's pretty it's pretty funny, because when people know that you did things your own way, they'll be upset, but they're not upset at the result. You're able to do a great job. Like, they'll take the result, but they just don't like the way that you did it. It's kind of like when you're in math class, right? Think of when you're in math class in middle school or high school, and the teacher will say, show your work. I used to hate it when the teacher would say that. She said, if you don't show your work, you're going to get in trouble. For those of us with autism and ADHD, a lot of us, we didn't show our work, but we got the right answer. Notice how we got in trouble for not showing our work. What do you mean show your work? I mean, like, I calculated it in my head, and look, this is before AI too. So it wasn't like we were cheating. Maybe some of us were cheating, right? But for the most part, there was no AI. It was kind of hard to cheat back then. I mean, I knew some kids that were doing it, but still, you could get to the answer without showing your work. Bosses want you to show your work. And in a sense, I kind of understand that, because, like, they want to make sure that we're being efficient. But sometimes they just want to make sure that you're doing things the way other people are doing it. And they don't like the fact that you found your own way to do it. Right. Our brains took shortcuts. But if you get to the right answer, then you got to the right answer. Got the right answer. Kelly says, what about when rules or procedures change? Is there a way beyond knowing the reasoning? That's funny. Laura says, clear instructions and why are definitely key items to my success. Right. When you know why something is required, it gives you, a lot of motivation to get a certain thing done. All right. So habits that we have give us a minimum level of competence, right? If we have certain habits, after something's become a habit, you do it on routine without thinking about it. So habits will give you a minimum level of competence. But if you want to go above and beyond, you need to know the why, because the why is going to fuel the motivation. And when you have motivation, mix that with ADHD or AuDHD hyperfixation, you can do a lot of amazing things. And this is why when you look at people who are doing marketing and brands and campaigning, there's always a story behind the product. The story is the why. Oh, this was founded by this person. This person had this experience when they were 12, and maybe they lost somebody to cancer. So because of that, they created this thing. And that's why this product is so important. Oh, now we know the why. Now I want to buy this thing. Our brains are always looking to make sense of things. So if you have clear instructions plus the why, there's a good chance that you will get the thing done, because now you have motivation to get the thing done. Karen on TikTok says, I just realized I don't catch feelings. I catch habits. That's funny. That's funny right there. I don't catch feelings. I catch habits. That's funny. Ooh, this second one right here is a big one. And I don't know if y'all get this at work, but this is a big one. Time to recover from social interaction. Second thing people with AuDHD need at work. Time to recover from social interaction. I would say the majority of jobs don't give you this, and that's pretty sad, pretty unfortunate. Whenever you have a social interaction, let's say there's a big team meeting or there's a big work function that happens in the middle of the day, it would be helpful to have some downtime, quiet time. Remember in elementary school, we had quiet time. You have to be quiet. You have to sit there like this. You have to be real quiet. I try to be quiet. That was funny. When's the last time you were at work and you could hear your own breathing? Just think about that for a second. When's the last time that you were at work and you could hear your own breathing? It was that quiet. You see how I can hear my own breathing? We almost never hear our own breathing at work. Nobody's doing breath work at the office because you're too busy getting things done. You go from one meeting to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And I get it. We live in a fast-paced environment, but even a 5 to 10 minute break, think about it, like a 5 to 10 minute break just to kind of recover from socializing would be helpful. It would go a long way because socializing takes effort. Keep in mind, whenever you're socializing with people, you have to put on your mask, your personality. So before that happens, you have to think to yourself, all right, cool. What personality am I gonna show up with today? Who am I gonna be today? Who do I have to be today? Who do they want me to be today? Who should I not be today? You have to think about all these different things because we all have different groups of friends, right? You act a certain way with your church friends, right? And you act a certain type of way with your friends that you hang out with at the bar. You know, like it's half and half. So likewise, when you're at work, I mean, you can't be the same way that you are with your boys when you're at work. You gotta put that mask on because you want to be, employed. A joke that's not appropriate. Oh, I love inappropriate jokes. I love them. Nacho Type says, I get in trouble at work for being too nice or talking to my patients. Oh, heck no. I was about to say, where do you work at? But we don't want to get you in trouble. But this kind of sucks. Being nice to your patients is, it's nice to be nice. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Leilani here has a pretty cool thing right here. My accommodation allows me to step away when needed when I let them know, as well as extra breaks. Then I can request intermittent time anytime. So Leilani should be teaching this live stream apparently because she has a really nice setup. If you can step away whenever you need to, I think that would be so human. I find it odd that we just can't step away. I remember I was, this is back in Georgia, where I was working at the psychiatric facility in Augusta, Georgia. There was a new lady who was hired at the workplace. And sometimes new employees are the best ones to talk to because they have a fresh perspective on things. They haven't been there for so long, so they haven't been indoctrinated. They have a fresh perspective. And I can't think of this girl's name, but I know she had braids or dreadlocks. And she said, why don't we have a room here at the psych hospital where we can go in and decompress and scream and punch things and just kind of reset. And I had never heard of somebody bringing up the idea, and I thought it was brilliant. Having like a scream room, a panic room, a decompressing room. I'm like, we work at the psychiatric hospital. Not that other people don't need it, but we would need that. A room where we can just kind of scream and reset. That would make us better for our patients. I thought that was a brilliant idea. Now, I wasn't in charge of making rules at the hospital. I was just a staff RN. So it wasn't my job to make rules, but I thought that was a fantastic idea. Because sometimes we just need to take a break. We just need to take a break. Tolu said, I got my desk moved because I attract a lot of people. This kind of sounds like fourth grade. This is what was happening to me in elementary school. Like I was playing with people's hair in elementary school, and like I like to talk a lot, even in middle school. Up until high school, I kind of stopped that in high school because I had to try and focus on passing my classes. But sometimes work feels like grade school all over again. Y'all feel that way? It's like you're in grade school, you're getting reprimanded for being too popular. Like here's the weird thing. If you're too popular and people like to talk to you, it's a problem. But then if you don't talk to people, it's a problem. I don't get that. What's the right amount of socializing that is required at work? Because I've had days where I remember one day in high school, I wasn't that talkative. I went to school and I did my work like the way a good student should. I went to school and I was paying attention to class, and I wasn't over talking. And people came up to me and they're like, "Coach, are you okay today? Like, are you good? Like, you're just a lot quieter. Like, is everything okay at home?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just ran out of jokes. Today I don't have any jokes, but tomorrow I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm gonna have jokes. But right now I don't have any jokes for you." But people thought something was wrong because I wasn't talking. So it's like, if you're too popular, it's a problem. But if you're not talking enough, then you're a distraction to the workplace. Because like what? My goodness, like sometimes you just attract people, And I do get the fact that jobs have to have certain rules, because without rules and without boundaries, look, we can get into the whole work from home discussion. We'll have a whole separate live stream dedicated to work from home, because I still believe that work from home is a trap when you have ADHD or AuDHD, because we need things to force us to get up, and we need deadlines, we need constraints. We can't operate without that. We're going to need that, right? So I get the fact that at work they have to have rules and boundaries. So yes, we do need rules. We do have to have a code of ethics. Like, we need all of that. It just should be a bit more flexible than what it is. That's why I think it should just be a bit more flexible. But yes, work from home is a trap when you're neurodivergent. And when I say trap, I don't mean that as a bad thing. It just means that if you don't have a system for yourself, and if you cannot generate artificial urgency, you're going to be stuck. People, look, it works for Leilani, but I can bet you that Leilani has a good strategy for generating urgency and artificial pressure and constraints, because without doing that, you cannot work from home. It would not work for you. It would not work for you. Like you'd be at home, with a shirt on during a Zoom meeting, no pants underneath. You can't even stand up because you're free balling and this swing left or right. You can't even participate. Like, you're wearing yesterday's shirt, last week's underwear. Work from home, like Joe, I agree. You may have to work from home, but you may have to go to a coffee shop or the library or something like that, because you got to figure out a routine, number one, and a way to generate that artificial pressure. Artificial pressure. All right, the third one right here: flexibility in how the work gets done. So I spoke on this a bit earlier, but flexibility in how the work gets done, right? So we need clear instructions and the why, but it helps when the workplace is flexible with how you get the work done. Some of us work pretty, haphazardly, like we're all over the place, and some of us work in more of a linear fashion, but not all of us work the same way. But it's funny because we all get to the same endpoint for the most part. So if you're able to accomplish the job or the task at hand, you can do it in your own way and it works, then why is it an issue? I don't get that. Why is that an issue? Stand up I'm weak. I wish I would do a live stream without pants. That'd be funny. I'm a type to forget, and I'm like, oops, I forgot. That's why I gotta wear pants for my live stream, because I'll forget and mess up a lot of things. But we need flexibility in how the work gets done. And when bosses and the HR department listens to divergent thinking, like I said earlier, they tend to find better ways to do things. Because the way that we're doing things currently that's how it's always been done. But who's to say that that's the best way to get things done? Who's to say? It may not be the best way to operate, but it's just the way we've always done things. That's how things work around here. Sometimes it takes a fresh perspective to come in and say, hey, this doesn't make sense. This makes sense. Why don't we do this before that? So that way everything is, it flows. So if there's flexibility in how the work gets done, I think you would stand a better chance of not only enjoying your job, and then, instead of going from a job that you tolerate, how about a job that you actually look forward to? Wouldn't that be crazy? You go to work and you actually look forward to the workplace. Ari, I'm weak. You go to work and you look forward to the workplace. And somebody on TikTok says, you can't write SOPs for you do you, boo. That's hilarious. That's funny. That's funny right there. That's someone says, do you think a 911 operator is a good option for someone who has AuDHD? Yes, I believe that a 911 operator would work well for neurodivergent, because look, if you work as a 911 operator, you're going to get a lot of different calls. So I've never worked that job before, so I can't say, but I would imagine that job would have a lot of fascinating aspects about it. That's what I would think. People on TikTok or Facebook are saying SOPs, don't make an SOP so strict. So guys, we do need SOPs. We do need standard operating procedures, because we have to have a way that we go about things. I just think that the SOPs should be a bit more flexible than how they actually are. Sometimes we don't have to go like word for word, or process for by process, because sometimes when you deviate, you can find a better way. Like I said, you could find a better way, but generally speaking, you do need your standard operating procedures. We do need that, so we can't get rid of it. I mean, you can, but I see why companies. I have SOPs myself for how I run my businesses, and guess what? Do I deviate from them? Almost all the time, I'll deviate away from them. But at least I have like for us people who are AuDHD, instructions are just kind of like a suggestion. Like as long as we keep it in the ballpark of that, we'll be okay. Like is this kind of reminding us of how the work could be done, and then we'll do the work the way that we feel like it's best it should be done. However, we're stimulated, because sometimes we don't have the motivation to start on a task. And if you don't start on something, then you can't finish it, right? You have to start to finish the damn thing. So SOPs, I think we need the structure, but we need the flexibility within the structure to play, to do what we want to do. And Masha says, my way is so much better than. And Christina on TikTok says, I was always micromanaged with SOPs word for word. Yeah, it looks like SOPs in general, people are not a fan of SOPs here. I'm seeing a lot of SOP angst. A lot of SOP angst right here. Now, if you have to go word for word, that is very frustrating. If you're being micromanaged and you're going word for word, that's frustrating, because it's like, dang, like you mean to tell me I have to do things exactly the way it's listed here? Exactly. And if I deviate away from it, like even 1%, I'm wrong and have to start all over again. Nah, that I don't like. And Christina says, yeah, they fired me. Hey, like it's just like the recent joke I had posted. If you have ADHD, and it goes for AuDHD as well, if you don't have an exciting job, you will either quit or they will fire you. One of the two. You're going to quit because you're so damn bored. You're so damn bored. Or they'll fire you. Because sometimes it's hard to hide your displeasure for a job or a situation. Like people can tell that you haven't bought into the system. Like body language is very, it's evident. People can tell that you haven't bought into the system. So if your job is not exciting, you're gonna quit, or they will fire you, right? And I mean, those are the two ways that any job would end, right? Like you leave, or they make you leave. But when you don't like the workplace, you don't like the job, that will happen. Like that's impending. Like it could happen any day. You could be fired any day, or on a random Thursday, you could wake up and say, all right, this is not it. I'm out. I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it anymore. One of the two is going to happen. So boredom is not good for us, guys. Boredom is not good for us. Those of y'all who can relate, my neurodivergence, boredom is not good. Think of all the past times in your life when you've gotten into trouble. 90% of the time you were bored. Think about it. If you made a top 10 list of worst decisions you ever made in your life, at least 8 of them were when you were bored. Okay? So boredom is a problem for us. Most folks are like, oh, they're just bored. No, boredom is a big problem. We should not be bored. Boredom, no. Bad. Standardized laws without law being in it. Oh, we must be talking about practice. And look, boredom does sometimes happen in hindsight. It does. But if you're not stimulated by something, you got to find a way to make work exciting. It's kind of like when you were, driving with your parents as a kid, and you were doing those long road trips, those 5-6 hour road trips, and you had no phone or no Game Boy or anything like that to keep yourself, busy. So you would sit there in the back of the car with your siblings, and you'd be counting how many trucks go by. Oh, let's count how many Chevys we see. Let's count how many trucks go by. Let's count. Like, you find ways to keep yourself engaged because you're just so bored. You're so bored. You got to find something. Ryan on TikTok says, how do you challenge yourself? I like my job, but I'm inexperienced in this new field. You got to give yourself a challenge every single day. And Gry says, boredom is not good at work, definitely. Oh, yeah. People can tell when you're bored. People can tell when you're bored. People can tell when you're bored. Natalie, yes, I'll say the two go hand in hand. Being bored and understimulated, yes. So overstimulation is a problem, but understimulation is a problem too. Tolu saying unmasking cost him his job. Flew across the world because I was bored. I don't like boredom either. Some boredom is okay. April, good. Thank you for this comment right here. Let me clarify. Some boredom is okay. Some boredom is okay. I said twice. It's okay to allow yourself to be bored sometimes, right? So I know we've all had this experience where you've gone to the restroom and you thought you just had to pee, but then you realize that you have to actually take the Browns to Super Bowl as well. You're like, dang it, I thought I only had to pee, so I didn't bring my phone in here. So now you're sitting on the toilet, getting all those inner demons out, but you have no phone, and you're like, dang, normally when I poop, I watch TikTok. I don't have nothing to do right now. Sometimes it's okay to allow yourself to be bored and use your imagination to poop. Just sit there and look at the walls and be bored for a second, okay? So boredom like that is okay. And I do think that allowing yourself to be bored and not being on the phone 24/7 will make you more creative. I completely agree. But continuous boredom, yeah. Like you're going into work and you know that there's going to be the same thing that happened yesterday. You feel like you're an autopilot. You feel like your life has no purpose, and it can manifest into self-sabotaging behaviors. Janelle says, I got bored of my last job and quit, and now I'm a year to my master's to be a therapist. This one worked out. Janelle, I'm happy we found something. I'm happy we found something. Mary, I don't have any. I don't have an Illinois license. I don't work in Chicago. Well, actually, I have a comedy show in Chicago, June 18th, at the Comedy Bar. I would love it if you came. I love it if people in Chicago, came through. The first show is almost sold out. The second one, we just added the link not too long ago. So I guess you can say I do work in Chicago because I do have a gig in Chicago. So my accountant will have to figure out how we pay taxes for all these different places where we have gigs at. But like formally, like professionally, I don't work in Chicago. Ellie says, that's why I want to bartend. I love talking to people. Love making drinks, love being busy. If you're a bartender, no 2 days will be the same. So I think a bartender is a pretty AuDHD friendly job. Now, I've never bartended before, but just what I would imagine the job to be, I think you'd be pretty stimulated, I think. We are not close. That's funny. Creative boredom versus the burnout boredom. Right. So some boredom is okay. Some boredom is okay, but when you're bored at work continuously, nah, not good. The New York show will be June 11th, which is right around the corner. I think that's like 2 weeks away. New York City at Rodney's Comedy Club. So we're almost there. And Sasha on TikTok says, I was so bored at one point in my life, I became reckless. Yeah, guys, boredom, not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. All right, now, the fourth thing on my list, the things that people with AuDHD need at work, a space with fewer interruptions. A space with fewer interruptions. This is key. If you have a place where you can go to at work, and if you work from home, this is the advantage right here to working from home. All my work from home people, this is the advantage right here. You get to curate your space, which is a powerful thing. You can go to the library. You can work in your room. I wouldn't recommend your own room, but you can do that. You can work in the kitchen. You can work in the spare room. You can work at a friend's house. You can work at a coffee shop. You can work at the library. But you get to curate your space, and you don't have to deal with a lot of interruptions. When you're at the office, people always want to come and talk to you, or you might be in the middle of something. We know how hard it is to finally get that focus. You're hyper fixated on a project that's important. You're trying to be a deadline, and somebody comes to talk to you. And because they interrupted you, now you're a little pissed, but you don't want to show that you're pissed because you want to be a team player. And now it's this whole big situation. Whereas if you just had a space where you could go to, or for me, like working in hospitals, the majority of my adult life, once I got an office, I could always put a sign up that said, quiet time with a patient, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. I could write those things on the wall. So it wasn't that much of a problem for me. But if you're somebody who you have to share, if you have shared office space, then I don't know how y'all are doing it with shared office spaces in terms of being productive. Because even when you reach that moment where you're hyperfixated and you've caught fire, like I'm making progress, I'm typing, I'm emailing, I'm writing, the work is getting done. Somebody wants to come in, they're chewing loud, they're talking on the phone. It throws you off. Now you're out of your element. Now it's hard to recapture that focus that we had because somebody just threw me off. And I was doing so good, but then somebody came and I sit here and they sit across from me. So it's also their office space too. So what can I do about I can't do anything about that. So shared office spaces, I don't think are the most neurodivergent friendly thing for us because it's easy to be distracted. And if you're neurodivergent, then it's already easy to be distracted anyway. So you want to minimize the distractions. You want to minimize the interruptions. minimize the interruptions. And I walk off my desk, my headset still attached. I think if you can have I mean, jobs that allow you to have headphones or even like AirPods, or even like the meta glasses where you can play music or something like that, you would do a bit better at those jobs. And not every job can do that. Like if you're doing manual labor and you're stacking the boxes, things like that, and you can play your own music, you have your headphones, I think you would really enjoy your job. It really you enjoy the job. I don't know what made Alexis write this, but I agree. Sharing fecal matter fumes is not. I do identify with the autistic community, Cambry. I've not recovered from a lot of us have not recovered from the lockdowns. I think that really impacted us more than we like to admit. And I think we're just now starting to realize how much the lockdown kind of affected us. Let me see. Masha says, why is it so hard to multitask in shared spaces? One interruption and ADHD dementia activated. That's funny. ADHD dementia. I like that term because I know what you're trying to say. That's hilarious. Yeah, shared office spaces are not the worst thing in the world, but for some of us like to work solo. Some of us like to get into a zone where we can just kind of do our own thing. And if you know that you're this type of person, that's good. Now you can push for that. You can push for that at work. And when you don't get these accommodations, it makes the work 10 times harder. So having bosses that are flexible, I think, goes a long way. If you have a flexible boss and you have accommodations, a job that you nearly quit could be something that you stay at for years because you at least are not disturbed by the work. Ideally, like I said, it'd be great to be stimulated by the work and to be excited to go to work. Nobody really talks about, being excited to go to work nowadays. Think about it. It's like, I go to work. But that excitement, like, oh, what's going to happen at work? Sometimes when you're not excited, if you're at least curious, that goes a long way. If you don't know what's going to happen the next day at work, so today you went to work, right? Today's Tuesday because the holiday was yesterday. Today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. If you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow at work, that right there is enough to keep most people at their jobs. If you're not interested, at least be curious. Curiosity is a powerful thing. At least being curious. If you're curious about tomorrow, it's going to give you some type of motivation to go into work and see what's going to happen. Or I'm a bartender. Who am I going to meet tomorrow? Like I could meet somebody who teaches me something that I never knew. I can meet somebody who's been traveling across the world. I work at a psych hospital. Who am I going to admit tomorrow? Like this, it's completely brand new. I work as a 911 operator. Who am I going to talk to tomorrow on the phone? I work as a Uber driver. Who am I going to meet? I DoorDash. Like, where am I going to drive? Like, anything that gives you some type of variety. I'm curious what my paycheck will look like. Facts. No, it starts and ends with the money now. At the end of the day, it starts and ends with the money. So the most exciting job where you feel as if you're underpaid or underappreciated, it still won't work. It really does start and end with the money. Big facts. Big facts. Colombo Ricana says, are you currently taking patients? Not right now because we're on tour for the comedy, but there's a gap somewhere in my comedy tour and we may accept new patients then. And then we'll probably close up the list again. So I'll let y'all know whenever we open up the list again. I'll let y'all know. The airport, actually, I think this would be a fascinating job because I love the people watch at the airport. I love people, and I spend a lot of time at the airport, for traveling. So I love watching people at the airport. People are, hugging each other because they haven't seen the people in ages, or they're sometimes emotional because they have to say goodbye. So the airport is a very A very fascinating place. I don't think you would be understimulated at the airport. I think you have a lot to do and a lot to see. A lot to do and a lot to see. And somebody on TikTok says, I'm never excited about going to work, but I enjoy my job. I get that. I get that. I get that. That makes sense. And sometimes the big excitement doesn't come from work. So it's perfectly normal to not feel this overwhelming excitement to go to work. You have to at least tolerate your job and then find passions outside of work, because your passions are probably, that's what you feel like you're living for. Like, you don't need motivation to do that. You're naturally stimulated by that. But work, for the most part, work is not going to excite the overwhelming majority of us. So don't feel bad if you don't have that passion, to go to work. So just keep that in mind. Will I be touring in Vegas? We don't have Vegas on the list of places that we're going to, but I would love to go to Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada, or is it Nevada? It's Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada. The party city is not my favorite place, but Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Henderson area, and outside of the party scene in Vegas, I actually really like it. But all that on this strip, nah. Passions, civilization, the same sentence. All right, number 5. Ooh, I was just alluding to this. Number 5, things that you need at work if you're AuDHD. Work that feels stimulating or meaningful. This is, we were just talking about this. The work needs to feel stimulating and or meaningful. And I agree. The rest of Vegas is boring once you get away from the strip, but that's what I like. I like the boring part of Vegas. I might be weird, but I like the boring part of Vegas, like where it's quiet and you can just catch your breath and hear yourself breathe. That's the part of Vegas I like. That's what I like. But you need work that feels stimulating or is meaningful. And I didn't add, work that keeps you curious, but if it's stimulating or meaningful, you'll be somewhat curious about what tomorrow brings. And even for people who work for themselves, you need this. Because when you work for yourself, I think your first thought is, oh, thank God I make money on my own. I'm not dependent on going to the office or whatever. I don't have a boss. Like, that's the cool thing about working for yourself. I don't have a boss. I'm an entrepreneur. I get to do what I want to do. That feels good when you think of it from that perspective. But then you have to go and make money on your own. You have to send invoices. Hopefully you get paid on time. It becomes a whole different, scenario, different issues, different pros, different cons. But you still need work that feels stimulating or meaningful. Or else you're going to fall into the trap of, what's the point of all this? Like, what am I doing this for? Like, what's the point? What's the point of all of this? And you don't want to get to the point where you're just so apathetic about work. Like I said, I don't know too many folks nowadays who wake up and they're excited to, go to work. Like, yes, I go to work. No. Let's keep it real. Nobody's really like pumped to go to work, but at least be curious. Like, oh, like what's going to happen tomorrow? Like, does this work stimulating me? Is it meaningful? And for those of us who work in environments like healthcare or helping environments, you get that meaning, and that meaning goes a long way. I didn't realize how important it was to have meaning in work until I really got into psychiatry. Because when I was in school, my only thought was, okay, once I graduate, I'm gonna make money. I need to make money. I wanted to help out patients, of course. I didn't know I'd be doing all this with social media, but I was like, my first thought was, hey, I gotta get out of this credit card debt. I gotta pay off this personal loan. Like, show me the money. Keep it real. Show me the money. And then when I got my job and I started paying off my debt and I knocked it down, I could breathe. Then I'm like, okay, out of survival mode. What can I do for the world now? And then I realized that there was a lot of meaning in what I did. and that brought me a lot of joy. And joy is different from like these big bursts in dopamine, like excitement. Is this feeling of contentment where it's like that natural serotonin, like this is cool. I'm grateful that I get to do this. This is cool. This is cool. And James, the Nashville show, we still have tickets for meet and greet. I would love to shake your hand and meet you. The Nashville show, the first one sold out, but the second show, which starts at 8:30, I want to say, is not sold out yet. So we have 2 shows in Nashville. I'm very excited for it. It's a homecoming for me. So my cousins will be there. My siblings will be there. They're coming from Georgia. And, we're going to have a musical act and then another comedian opening up for the show. It's going to be amazing. So hopefully I get to meet you in Nashville. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a good time. Gotcha. We're at the 1 hour mark, Leilani. Gotcha. I love my purpose and my job. Voter organization is important to me, so it's easy to clock in right now. See, so Alexis is able to find meaning in what she does for a living. When you can find meaning in what you do, it makes it easier to go to work. You feel like, okay, I'm making a difference. Like what I'm doing is helping out the world, is helping out the workplace. I worked at an adult toy store. See, this is fascinating. This is fascinating because when you work at the adult toy store, people aren't coming in bad moods. People are coming in good moods, in great moods. They're coming in to spice up the relationship. So people are coming in, they're naturally spicy. People are ready to have a good time. So I think when you deal with people who are nice, it makes you feel good. Because, like you said, you got paid next to nothing, which is not cool. I'm sure if you got a pay raise, you appreciated that. But when you deal with people who are in a good mood, if you have a job where the people that you deal with are always in a good mood, guess what? You may be in a good mood too. You would also be in a good mood. Yeah, the second Nashville show. I'm excited, Ari. I'm excited. Nashville's going to be great. We're going to have a good time in Nashville. And one thing I did in Houston that I'm going to repeat for Nashville is every night that I was in Houston, I got a lot of sleep so that the next day I had so much energy. Like I had so much energy in Houston because I got sleep. So when I get sleep, I have energy. I know that, but then sometimes I'm like, man, why don't I get more sleep like most of the time? Because whenever I get sleep, I'm in a great mood. Yeah. I try and catch all the spicy comments. Facts. If I see a comment that's spicy, I'm gonna try and catch it. She works at an adult toy store. Yeah, I'm gonna catch that. Of course, I'm gonna catch that. So hard to find meaningful work and support your family. Now, Ray, this is the downside to most work that's meaningful, because when you're working it, like you're driven by the greater purpose, and sometimes those jobs aren't the most well compensated jobs. So you have to take a loss in one area to get a benefit in another area. So that kind of sucks. Chicago is June 18th. Someone says add Cleveland next year. I definitely have to add some Ohio shows for sure. My favorite job that I've had was working at a bookstore. Got paid peanuts, but loved every day I walked in the doors. And I think we're seeing a theme here, that the jobs that people enjoy the most are not the ones that paid the most. I think that's pretty interesting. The most enjoyable jobs are not the highest paying ones. So if you are ever in a position to where you can take a job that doesn't pay you as much, but you're in a better mood, that right there could be a trade-off that you're willing to make. Depending on your situation, depending on what's going on. Sometimes you have to go on a money run and stack it up, and you work two, 3 different jobs that you're not really passionate about, but it's paying the bills. So we do it because we got to do it for right now. But for those people who are able to take a pay cut or take a job that doesn't pay the most, but you feel good about it, you will be in a better mood and the people in your life will notice that. It'll be evident that this person is in a good mood. And if you're in a good mood most of the time, then you're just more enjoyable to be around. Like, think back to moments where you've been in a good mood for a sustained period of time. There weren't a lot of things that were frustrating you. Like, you were pretty chill. Life was good. Life was good. Those are good moments. Those are good moments. My cousin has ADHD. He enjoys being the cat adjuster. He has to climb on top of homes and stuff. This is a great job for somebody who has ADHD. Because look, this is the type of job that you can work without your stimulants. All right. Now, I'm not saying that he should stop taking his medication. I'm not saying that. So don't listen to what I'm not saying. No. But what I'm saying is that if you have to climb on top of homes, there's a natural element of danger and excitement there that you're going to focus. I promise you, for the majority of us, for the average person, if we are standing on top of somebody's house on a roof, we're going to be pretty focused. Because if we don't lock in mentally, we could fall off and bad things could happen. So when you're on top of somebody's house, you're going to be focused and naturally. You wouldn't need your medications in theory. In theory, obviously, whatever the doctors prescribed him, he or she should take. But like somebody on TikTok is saying, danger is a thrill. Oh, it most definitely is. And this is good danger. Like, ADHD brains need excitement and danger, and it's like, oh snap, am I going to get home safely today? That's that sort of thing. It's going to give you a lot of natural excitement. And we would pray that he does not fall off and he continues to be safe, because we want that. Random comment right here, but I also love the smell of old books. I'm happy somebody mentioned this because it makes me feel less weird. Like, I'll go to the library and I'll just be sniffing books, like, and I look around, make sure nobody's looking at me, so I can go back to being weird. And it feels good to smell an old book. I guess I've never had an original experience ever in my life, because I like the smell of books, and I like the smell of gasoline as well. I'm weird and I know it. It's okay. And Charlie Lee says new books as well. I like the smell of new books, but old books have a like a peculiar smell to it. It's just like a, I don't know. It's like this book has been here since Benjamin Franklin was around type of thing. I like those. I like that. I fell off a pyramid in Mexico and a guy caught me when I was 16. What in the world? Thank goodness that guy caught you. Thank goodness. It would not have been good. Whew. Mickey Ficky. I didn't say the smell of old people, but the older folks do have a smell to them. Respect. I love the smell of books and gasoline. Yeah. These are good smells. Alexis on TikTok says, hi, I'm an AuDHD model and commercial actress working in the high masking and constant change. Oh yeah, definitely being an actress or a comedian, anybody in the arts, those are great careers for people who have autism and ADHD, because there's no telling what we're going to do on set today. That's one of the things that I've always appreciated about not only the space, but also Los Angeles. It's like, who are you going to meet today? Like, New York, the same thing. Maybe Miami too, but Miami is maybe a bit more party than it is a creation hub. But definitely New York and LA. Like, who am I going to meet today? I'm on set. It's super fun. And I remember I did a gig where I was a background actor, and I was on set for like 6 hours. I made next to nothing. I didn't make any money off of it. If I made $100, like that may be an overestimation, but it was just so cool to be on set, and I was just taking notes for how I can run my own company as when I was a background actor, because nobody was worried about me. I wasn't even Dr. Kojo. I was just a random black guy, and as a background actor. and it was just so cool seeing everything move around. I was like, this is so cool. And clearly I didn't do it for the money because it didn't pay anything, but it was just so cool seeing everything just, how things operated. That was super cool for me. All right. And we're gonna get to questions in just a second. I have one more. Janelle, I appreciate you. I will see you in New York City, June 11th. I'm excited. I just get the biggest smile when I think of these shows. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good, so good, so good, so good, so good. Entrepreneurship, confidence is kind of shot. Entrepreneurship. Okay. Entrepreneurship. What I'll say about entrepreneurship, maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more later. When it comes to entrepreneurship, start while you have a job. If you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to work for yourself, start building your habits when you have a job, because when you don't have structure and you're an entrepreneur, it'll mentally be so confusing because you can't tell your Tuesdays from your Saturdays and they start to run together. But when you work, you have you have to stay within like those guidelines. Okay, I got to get to work at 9. I got to do this at 2. I got to do this at 11 a.m. So I would start while you have a job. And then whenever you become full-time as an entrepreneur, mirror the actual schedule that you had when you were working. So try your best to mirror that schedule. And I see somebody had a super chat but left no. Okay. Well, left I guess a question here for the super chatter. With medications, and TikTok won't let me get too in depth, but if your meds are not working, always go to your psych and let them know when you take ADHD medications, you're going to build a tolerance to them. So at some point, the 10 milligrams that work for you doesn't work anymore. You might need 15, you might need 20, you might need 25. So you do build a tolerance to those medications. And either, the two options that will more than likely happen is they'll increase your meds or they'll give you, switch it to a different medication. I'm disabled and DoorDashing the supplement. Oh, well, James, in that case, I think you asked for the entrepreneurship. If you're already making your own schedule as a DoorDasher, then whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur, you can go ahead and start that now. Because the hardest part is really the schedule. The hardest part is figuring out what to do on a daily basis. So if you're already making your own schedule, then that's the advantage to DoorDashing and Uber. And some people are good at making their own schedules. So that's the thing that I really like. All right, number 6. And Shane on TikTok is asking about the people in the Shane. I don't understand that question. I don't understand that. Masha is coming to a show alone. You're gonna come to a show alone? If you do, that'd be hella dope. Would be hella dope. All right, let me get the 6th one in here. Reduced sensory overload plus ability to wear headphones when appropriate. Let me get the 6th one here before we go to the full Q&A. 6 things AuDHDers need at work. Number 6, reduced sensory overload plus ability to wear headphones when appropriate. All right. If your boss tells you that you can't wear headphones during a team meeting, guys, that's reasonable. That makes sense to me. Now, if you are doing some work that requires deep focus, and especially if you're in a shared office space, if you're able to have headphones, this right here could be the difference between a good day and a bad day at work. This thing right here, these wired headphones. And I'm okay with the people at the workplace saying we're okay with wired headphones, but we don't want the over the ear headphones, because sometimes the noise canceling ones is like, okay, the good part is that they're noise canceling, but the bad part is that they're noise canceling. So now we can't hear anything. So I get maybe the people at work not wanting you to have those big over the ear headphones, but at least something like this, these right here these will save you. These will save you right here. These save me every single day, whether I'm on the airplane or whether I'm in shared office space. These right here, these will save you. These will save you. So reduce sensory overload and ability to wear headphones when appropriate is the sixth thing that I think AuDHDers need at work. At work. And James is coming to the show by himself. I appreciate that. I am like James and Alexis. I will go to shows and do things by myself, but a lot of people are not really doing solo shows and things like that, or even going out to eat by themselves. A lot of people don't like to do that, but it's pretty liberating because you can leave whenever you want. You can do whatever you want to do when you go places by yourself. So that's pretty cool. And I have a headset at work when I stream music, in between making phone calls, when I have a time put my music helps a lot of work. Music helps a lot. I listen to podcasts, I listen to songs. I mean, they help a lot. What noise canceling earbuds and headphones would you recommend? I think mine are in the car, but I use ones I got from the TikTok shop, and they work really well. I think it's like JLab, and it's like $20 or so. It's much cheaper than the ones that are like $100. So I like them. And guys, for those of y'all who will be going to the show in Nashville, James is looking for neurodivergent friends, and my comedy shows are a great place for people to meet their friends. My comedy shows are a great place for people to meet their neurodivergent friends. And maybe you might even meet somebody that you like romantically. Who knows? Who knows? But you got to come out to see. You got to come out to see. So if you're coming to the show in Nashville, I would be just like James. Lovita will be there. There you go. Lovita, James will be there. James, Lovita will be there. If you're also coming to the show in Nashville, I think Ari said she'll be there. It's good to get to know people, especially in a vetted space too. In a vetted space, because when you're out there in the wild and you're just talking to people randomly, which you should still do, there's no telling why the person's there and what connects you. But if you're coming to my comedy shows, there's a good chance that you're neurospicy. And if you haven't been diagnosed yet, it's probably going to happen after the comedy show. It's probably going to happen at some point. There's a reason why you gravitate to this content. You probably see yourself in the content, which could mean that you're neurospicy. I'm not diagnosing you, but it could mean that you're neurospicy. And if so, you'd really enjoy meeting other people who live similar lives, because we're going to have to figure out a couple of things to do in our life to make sure that it's as seamless as it can be, right? Whether it's noise canceling headphones or, getting support from family members or friends, or having somebody who stays on FaceTime with you to help you clean your house. We do certain things to make life a little easier for ourselves. So when you group things by people who are neurodivergent and people who have ADHD and autism, we live very similar lives, even if we don't have, similar backgrounds, which is the cool thing. Black, white, Indian, Hispanic, Asian, Filipino. As long as you're neurospicy, there's something that you do that somebody else who's neurospicy is probably doing the same thing. So that's a pretty cool thing. Friendship is the goal at the moment. And look, friendship is a good enough goal. I have a bad habit of trying to romantically link people to each other, but friendship is a good enough goal. And I read somewhere that the average cost of a date now is over $200. I didn't know that people were spending $200 on the first date, but that makes me not want to date. That makes me want to have a friend. It makes me just want to have a friend. Like $200 for a first date? Nah. Cap. Well, I'd love to meet you too. and I will be there. Hey, plan a road trip, Alexis, but we also will be. I'm not sure where you're at again, Alexis. I'm gonna take a guess and say Oklahoma. My memory is pretty okay for the most part, but we are looking to have, I think, at least one more show in Texas later this year. And I would love to do Oklahoma City. I've never been. Oh, never been. Just doing good. Yeah, he's good. He's good. Bursu says you would get free dates for sure. I get free dates? No. Who says I get free dates? No. When I go, oh, you are in Oklahoma City. All right. So my memory is good. Awesome. I'm like, I think Oklahoma City. I'm proud of my memory. I'm proud of my memory. Yeah, let's go. But Bursu, no, I don't get free dates. I don't get no, I don't get free dates. I mean, I don't spend $200 on the first date, but I definitely don't get free dates. It'd be cool to get free dates, but normally if I go on a date, I'm paying. Because more than likely, like I had asked her to go on the date. I just don't pay $200 for a first date. That's I'm a big fan of coffee dates because you shouldn't have to pay $200 to see whether somebody likes you or not. Because in the beginning, when you're dating, you could be going on multiple dates with different people. So if let's say you have 3 dates lined up in a week, you're gonna go meet Samantha, then Jasmine, and then Rebecca, or whatever. $600 in 1 week. That's what, $1,200 every 2 weeks. That's $2,400 a month. Oh heck no! Oh heck no! No, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that until you better them. I agree. Coffee dates, something cheap, because I mean people shouldn't be. Monogamy is cheaper, right? But I'm talking about in the beginning when you're dating somebody, or dating people to figure out like who your person is. And somebody had dropped the magic word in the chat. Let me actually go get some water and then make my Nello. And then we'll do the magic word. And I'll take a couple more questions. Yeah. And see, I can get up because I'm wearing pants. Told you I was wearing pants. 1 second. In this club with you, girl. I don't know why I came in with these diamonds on my chain. Sick like a professor. I don't know why you feel. Can you tell me? Okay. I iced this one out a little bit too much. I iced that a little bit too much. Oh, someone says, "Oh, Kodo, don't you have a girl?" Oh no, I'm for the streets. I'm not dating right now, honestly. Using this time to enjoy myself. Someone says he's married. I think people who are on the TikTok streams may be on for the first time. Yeah, I got 4 wives, guys. That's why I'm working so hard. I got 4 wives. 4 wives, and they always want something from me. Some of them want my time. Some of them want new boobs. Yeah, cheers. Time to get some water in, y'all, or get some type of a beverage in, something. Jessica says, I'm one of the wives. Hey, Jessica. She's the wife who pay my bills. Dating is overrated. I think it is. Dating is overrated, but Dating is overrated, but finding your person is underrated. Let's just say that. Because once you found your person and things are rolling, that's a pretty good feeling. And hopefully that makes the dating process worth it and all that. But dating is overrated. And Susan thinks everyone should go Dutch. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. If that was the rule or the law, I don't think we'd have all these $200 dates. We would have, I mean, nowadays a latte will cost you $8.47. And I never really drank coffee like that growing up, so I don't know how much a latte costs, but I don't think it was $8.47. Inflation has hit everything. A latte is $8.47, and a $5 foot long is $12 now. So I think if we just had cheaper dates, then dating wouldn't be so awful. People not dating no more, for real. Right. Just get with that. Facts. With four spouses, you always be in. That's funny. You believe I have four wives? Maybe I do. Paying bills is an executive function I've mastered. Okay, now you're talking my language. Ooh. I iced this water on accident, and I put my Nello in here. It's hitting real nice. Ooh, it's hitting real nice. Ooh. Do people even date anymore? No, people are not dating. One of my friends was talking about women, and he was saying that, women have all these guys in their roster, blah blah blah. I said, I don't know a single lady who has like a roster full of guys trying to take her out. People aren't dating anymore. People not dating no more. People are home. Look at the stats. People aren't dating anymore. People are home, taking care of themselves. And even I think the dating app world will also be hurt. People not dating no more. Why are people always eating on dates? Let's do something adventurous. I like that. It shouldn't cost an arm and a leg. You can go to the park. You do something for free. I ran off a date by telling him I like doors open for me. Hey, look, I don't got the answers to today's dating. It's just interesting. Women have a lot of options, but they are mediocre. By and large, I would agree with this. And to be more specific here, if we're being honest, I think that the average woman can sleep with the majority of the men that she encounters on a day-to-day basis, but getting actual commitment from them would be relatively difficult. Or getting commitment from somebody that you would want to be committed to, relatively difficult. Are paranoid. Oh, you talking about me? Are you paranoid about someone liking you and wanting to be with you, or them wanting your money, or you don't care? Oh, it's definitely not the last thing. I definitely care about I definitely care about who I choose to be with. I guess to answer your question, I'm concerned about kind of all of it. So for me, life hasn't been normal for like 5-6 years. So at this point, I'm not exactly sure what I know. Life hasn't been normal for 5-6 years, so it's different at this point. It's different at this point. I think I have some issues that are specific to me, and also just a liability. I got 2 businesses, and I have a international brand. So when you're dating somebody, you think about them and what they do and how that can add on to what you're doing, and also just like I got a brand to protect. So it goes a little deeper for me at this point. But yes, I am all of the above. A bit paranoid about a combination of everything that you mentioned there. Honestly, I will look to add a show in San Francisco at some point this year. So I don't have one on the date right now, but I am looking to add something in San Francisco. I'm multi-date. Okay, respect. Okay, respect. Chivalry isn't dead. It's dead in Oklahoma City. The guys out there don't want to open doors. So, and yes, please don't spam in the chat, Ellie. I agree. You know what you want and aren't afraid to say it. Never settle. I think we all do settle in some capacity, but it's about settling for things that you want to, settle for, if that makes sense. Natasha says, yes, protect your brand at all costs. Only takes one. Right. Which is, I don't know if you'd even call it paranoia. I think that my concerns are a bit more, I have a lot of reasonable, explanations as to why I'm just careful. Just one thing, one person could mess up years of work, and I love my work and I love what I do. I love making content. I love hopping on live streams. I love doing this. So I would hate for a bad headline to be, like when I first became, social media famous or whatever, I used to be concerned that, I'd be a bad headline about me in the paper, or, something bad would happen. But then I just realized that depending on who you keep in your circle, that makes things a lot easier. Makes things easier. Oh yeah. I'm always tell it how it is and be vulnerable. I'm gonna tell you what I think. Parks are good. I agree. Parks, hikes, trails. People shouldn't be spending $200. That's kind of crazy. Raki says, I've swiped 1 million times. And guys, we are in the Q&A session. We'll do Q&A for like a good 15 minutes. I swiped 1 million times on those apps. Decent dudes are hard to find. I think the dating app era is, I don't think dating apps are done, but I think as a society, we're moving away from things being so digital. People are going back to analog. You're going to see people carrying around CD players. Like I'm looking for a CD player, and I would love to have a CD player and then actually plug this into the CD player and then listen to, a J. Cole album. And you can't just pick the song. You have to let the whole thing play. So we're going more to an analog world because people are so tired of everything being on the phone. So I think that the dating app era is coming to an end, which is good and bad. Dating apps are still a good way to find people, but it's also a source of free validation for people who just want to get the validation, So cassette, that was to cassette. Nah, I'm old, but never a cassette. Always CDs though. Walkman. Wow. Ooh, interesting question right here. Wow. Oldest patient prescribed stimulants. The oldest patient that I've prescribed stimulants for, I think 68 or so. And they had ADHD. Very, very niche question. Good question right there. Very good question right there. Someone says, did you get the fall off on CD? I did not get the fall off on CD. If I were to get a J. Cole CD, like in the hard copy, it would be probably Friday Night Lights or The Warm Up or 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I'm a big J. Cole fan. Someone says, I always fall for love bombing. Hey, it's a pretty good feeling, love bombing. It's a pretty good feeling. Well, I've listened to a cassette before, but actually, I never had the portable cassette thingy, but I've listened to a cassette before. I should have clarified. I'm an unk, so I'm still part of the era. Somebody has a CD and cassette players. Okay, cool. MP3 players, yep. MP3 players, blowing the Nintendo games. Yep. Someone says, can a person be AuDHD and bipolar at the same time? Yes. So you're asking if you can have autism, ADHD, and bipolar at the same time? Yes, you can have all three at the same time. And I think that there are a lot of people who have all three, because sometimes people will say, is it ADHD, autism, or bipolar? You can actually have all three. And I've seen that with a lot of people and a lot of my patients that they have all three. And it's still, I think, very treatable. You just have to keep in mind not to, push somebody into mania. You don't know the. Oh, okay. No, okay. You're bringing back some core memories. I do remember this. I do remember this. Oh, I used to do this too. I used to do this too. I used to do this too. Yeah. Okay. So I think Loretta asked about the cassettes initially. Yes, I used to even record on cassette from the radio station. Yeah, yep. Oh yeah, I used to do this because back in the day you can just hear a song on demand. Like you would hear Whatever You Like by T.I. I'm like, oh shoot, like I'll wait for the song to play on the radio, and I would go and record it so that I could play it back whenever I wanted it. Now you can just, I got 2 iPhones, an iPad, an iMac, a laptop. You can listen to any song on demand right now. Now your biggest challenge is just Shazamming the song before it goes off. Man. Alexis, PDD. What do you mean? PDD. I'm blanking out. Postpartum, not postpartum depression. PDD. I'm blanking out on PDD. Can you spell the whole thing? Come to Atlanta. Oh, I would love to come to Atlanta again. I was there 2 years ago. What job is good for neurodivergence with no math or stress? Overall, I'm not. No math, no stress. Maybe librarian, Desiree. Masha says tips for impulsiveness. If you're an impulsive person and you are thinking through a decision, it's helpful to write the decision out. Like, I'm thinking of texting my ex. Write a pros and cons list. If I text my ex, I can see if they miss me. That's a pro. Cons, they may actually respond, and now we're stuck in another long extension of this situationship that's going nowhere. Like, write out the decision. Because when you write it out and you say it out loud, it helps you process it. Because sometimes if you just think of a decision and you have an impulsive tendency, then you may still go through with it and you're like, that wasn't what I wanted to do. So it helps to write things out. And also get a lot of sleep. If you're an impulsive person, get a lot of sleep. Don't make any decisions, no major decisions on less than 6 hours of sleep. That's one thing that I've done for myself. Sometimes I'll be trying to make a big decision and I'm like, I only slept 4.5 hours last night. We'll do it tomorrow. Oh, PD, persistent depressive disorder. Gotcha. Type of therapy. So I'm not big into like the different types of therapy, whether it's DBT or CBT, but I would say I'll actually go with DBT. Actually, CBT still works, and DBT is a form of CBT, but I would say DBT, so that way you can think through decisions that you want to make. Because if you have persistent depressive disorder, it means that you're kind of like always like a little depressed. You feel me? Like you're always a little depressed. So decision making is going to be difficult because when you're depressed, everything is hard. So just having a way that you can make certain decisions would be pretty helpful. Make sure that you're not making impulsive decisions. Make sure that you're not making decisions that are based off of what other people want for you. I think that could be helpful. And also CBT could be helpful too. It can help you talk through things. And also get adjusted to having like that baseline this time yet, and just kind of being a little depressed, kind of always, if that makes sense. I'm a natural romantic when it comes down to it. I dislike that love bombing is a concept. James, love bombing is a thing. It's a thing. It's really a thing. It's really a thing. And sometimes people love bomb on purpose. A lot of times it's unintentional, but sometimes people will love bomb on purpose and try to like trap you before you can like rationalize whatever is happening. Yeah. Yeah, I would wait all day on a song. Dang, those are some good times. Some good times. Dang. Some strategies to maximize your day. Have a system for waking up and a system for going to bed. Because if you can go to bed at a decent time and wake up at a decent time, there's a good chance that you'll, get things done. And also, instead of trying to get yourself into a mood to start something, try just starting the thing. Or try starting some of it with the intention of not doing all of it. That's my best trick. Because like for me, like I'll wake up in the morning, I'll put on like rock or rap to try and like hype me into doing something. And now I'll just sit down and I'll tell myself that I won't do all of it, but I'll just do some of it. And then I end up catching momentum. So I have to trick myself into doing things. And that's almost every day. Like every day I wake up, I don't want to do anything. Like that's me for the first 2-3 hours. I want to do nothing. And then when I get some momentum, then I'm like, oh yeah, like I gotta make some videos today. I want to make some videos. I want to make some content. I want to go live. But in the beginning of the day, I want to do nothing. And if you have ADHD, try and start your day off like with momentum. Like if you can't get out of the bed and come out swinging, do your best. Like start the day fast, because time will escape you, and you'll be in the bed doom scrolling, and time will escape you. It will escape you. So try and start the day off fast. Oh, this made me laugh because I can relate. I've had to work hard on sleep. Anella, if you struggle with pathological demand avoidance, I would say try and reframe things. Sometimes we will struggle with PDA from ourselves. Like you'll tell yourself, I need to do this. You don't need to do a single thing. You ought to do something, but you don't need to do it. So I try to reframe things. Instead of saying I need to do, I say I ought to do this. OUGHT. I ought to do this. I could do it. I should do it. I don't need to. So the language that you use to yourself is very important. And also give yourself options. Like if you have to do 5 things, right? Instead of choosing between one of those things and something that is completely unrelated that you want to do, take 2 of those 5 things and say, oh, today I get to do one of these 2. Which one do I want to work on? And now the one that you're naturally, interested in working on, you can go ahead and knock that out. So the language that you use for yourself is very important. Very important. Momentum. Anella, I agree. Leopard crawl out of bed if you must. Like, get out of bed. Like back in the day, I used to fall out of the bed on purpose. Like I would just roll over on the floor. My bed wasn't that high up, but I would roll over, hit the floor. Now it make a bigger noise than that because I'm 210 pounds. So like you hear a thud. But yeah, as long as I can get the day started, I'm okay. At one point, I paid an assistant, and her job was just to wake me up. So waking up is so hard when you have ADHD. It is really hard. It's really hard. All right, let me look on TikTok. Jessica says, I ought to lay back down and ignore responsibilities. Jessica, no, I wouldn't talk about that, Jessica. That's funny. Synchronicity health. At the moment, I don't know of any. Lovita on Facebook, she's a psych NP. I'm not sure if she's taking on students, but I'm not at this point in time. Consequences of a non-supportive environment. You believe in yourself less. You second guess yourself with things. You could lose confidence. So try your best to be in supportive environments. Entry-level jobs, if you relatively prioritize meaning over stimulation. If you're going to talk about meaning over stimulation, that sounds like self-employment, Charlie. Ali says, tips for someone diagnosed later in life with autism and ADHD. Well, once you get the diagnosis, figure out what type of support you need and work on the guilt and shame that you have in general, because guilt and shame prevents you from getting support. So working on those two things can be very helpful. Someone says, where's your girlfriend at? She's hanging out with my wife right now. I have a 21-year-old daughter with autism who reminds me constantly of what I ought to be doing if anyone wants to borrow her. I'm sure she can help a lot of people do what they should be doing. Ooh, this thing is hitting. I may leave water bottles in the freezer and put a reminder to go get it out after some time, so that way I can get that little ice. It's hitting today. It don't never taste as good. This Nello, it never tastes as good, but today it's hitting. It's hitting. Anyone catch the name of the preceptor? Oh, she's over on YouTube actually. Lovita, somebody on TikTok is asking if you're accepting patients, or I mean accepting students. Wait, you have when people join a live stream like halfway through and they haven't caught on to my humor, that's funny. That's funny. Nah, I'm solo dolo lucky. I'm solo dolo. But depending on who comes in the live stream, it could change at any moment. Synchronicity health. If you're in Texas, I mean, maybe she's in Texas, so you may want to reach out to her if you are in Texas and you're looking for a preceptor over there. He's Polly. You are adding to the confusion. Girlfriend is a commutator, wife is your occupation. You can say that. You can say that. You can say that. You could say that. Oh, Lobita, they're in California. They're not in Texas. So, looks like it wouldn't work. But at least we tried. At least we tried. But yeah, no, I am adding to the confusion. But see, that's one thing with short form content creators that I don't think a lot of people recognize. So now on YouTube, my long form content is getting traction. It took me 7 years to get there. YouTube long form was not working for me for the first 7 years. Only really this year started working for me. So with long form YouTube, people have more of a, I don't want to say they have more of a connection with the creator, but with long form YouTube, people know that creator more intimately. When it comes to short form, the people that know me intimately are people that come on live streams. So if you don't join my live streams, you don't really know about me like that. So it's pretty confusing. So that's why I stopped correcting people. They're like, oh, is that your girlfriend? Is that your wife? I said, oh, no, they're just kids, so on and so forth. But then people will come in the next day and ask the same question. And I'm realizing that with short form content creation, depending on what comes in your algorithm, you see certain things, so you believe certain things. So with short form, it's harder to get people to know you unless they join your live stream. So whether I confuse them or not, Leilani, they're going to be confused. So I'm like, yeah, man, I got me 5 wives. Oh, well, 4. I'm just going to say 4 because 5 is too much. But I'm like, hey, I just got 4 wives. Ricky says, this man's confusing. Good. Mission accomplished then. When will you be doing a show in California again? I thought it was going to be June, but probably it'll be July at this point. I'm trying my best to do the monthly shows in California while we're on tour. Could be a little harder because we have 3 shows within the next month or so. So we won't be doing our monthly shows in Hollywood in June, but July we should have a show at my home comedy club in California. So my home comedy club is the Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe on 5220 Hollywood Boulevard. So for people who are in California, that's where I do my monthly shows, or at this point it'll be bi-monthly or so, but that's where I do my shows. So if you're in that area, in the Hollywood area, LA, that's where I'll be doing those shows. That wedding video definitely served my confusion. And Alexa, sometimes I think back and I realize something about my content. I'm like, if somebody has never joined a live stream and they don't know about me, or actually, I took it from the perspective of let's say a woman who was like, I want to see Kodo's single. Does he want to date me? Blah, blah, blah. I try to look at it from the perspective of a woman who doesn't know me. It will be pretty confusing if you go on my page like, but he married this girl, but then he had a baby with this girl. And then in this video, their child was sick and the school called and he had to go pick up the kid from school. Then when he went outside, he fell down on the stairs. So I can see how it is confusing. It actually makes sense to me. Nurses have a really bad reputation. You're not helping yourself. Hey, some reputations are true. Some reps are true. Comedy works in Denver, or I'll tell you why you're being me. I would love to come to Denver. I've flown through Denver, but I've never really been in the city. So I would love to come to Denver. Divorce or the maker. That'd be funny. That'd be a plot twist for the videos. It's like, how did she get demoted from wife to girlfriend? That's funny. And synchronicity. When the next time I book a show at my home comedy club, I'll post it online. I'll have that in the links in my bio. Like if you look at the link in my bio, it has the link in my bio currently has the link in my bio has a sign up as a top link. Okay, and you can register for more information on AuDHD. So I'm doing a campaign with more to AuDHD.com, and the campaign is aimed at individuals who have undiagnosed ADHD and are looking for support and or information. So when you hit the link in my bio, the first thing that will come up is the more to AuDHD sign up. Okay, so that'll be at the top of the link. And then underneath that, you have the comedy shows. The second show in Nashville, New York City, June 11th, Chicago, 2 shows, June 18th, 7 p.m. and 9:15. Then we have Boston, Massachusetts, July 24th, Springfield, Massachusetts, July 25th, Chandler, Arizona, which is Phoenix area, September 17th. Then December 3rd, we have San Diego, California. We'll be adding more cities and more dates. The Seattle and Little Rock, Arkansas shows, I'm still trying my best to make that happen. I announced those before it was finalized, so I messed up in that regard, but I'm still looking to make those happen. So for the people who are wondering about Seattle or Tacoma specifically and Little Rock, Arkansas, that's the holdup on those 2 shows right there. Mystic Soul, I'll see you in Nashville. Can't wait to see you in Nashville. I'm so excited for the show. I'm so excited. Why am I always late no matter how much I try? Probably you have to give yourself some fake deadlines. That's what I do. I'll set the time ahead in my car. The clocks inside my house are always like 10, 15 minutes ahead of the actual time. I have to trick myself into getting to places on time. That's been my whole life, and I still have to do that. So still gotta do that. Days in the lives of Coach. I struggle a lot on the weekends. Would it be better for me to structure my weekends? Also, what's your favorite go-to meal for when getting out of bed and struggle? Ooh, outstanding question right here. Ooh. So weekends with structure, I would say give yourself a flexible schedule on the weekends. right? So give yourself some structure on the weekends, but you have the option to opt out if you don't want to do a certain thing. But some type of structure on the weekends is helpful, even if all you do is wake up and you clean your car and you work out. Some type of a structure on the weekends helps to kind of make it easier when you get back around to Monday. And my favorite go-to meal for when I'm so look, I don't really eat big breakfasts. So my go-to meal would be either a protein shake or it would be this Nello thing right here. Because it tastes better than water. So what I'll do is I'll have a water bottle right next to me while I sleep, and I'll have this little packet. So when I wake up, I'll just make the packet. My Adderall is on a nightstand. So even if I can't get out of bed and I hit the snooze button, I can at least roll over, take my ADHD medications, and then, within 30 minutes or so, I'm awake. But it's a whole chore to get out of bed. It's very difficult for me. It's always been that way. It's just very difficult. So I'm doing my best. Doing my best. What's one saying or piece of advice from a husband dealing with someone with a late diagnosed ADHD, autism, 30-year-old? I would say one saying. Great question. I would say ADHD and autism they're not excuses, but they're explanations. I think that would be a helpful quote for him to know that ADHD and autism, they're not excuses, they're just explanations. So if it's you who has the ADHD and autism, that way he knows that the things that you do that could frustrate him, it's not intentional. You should still be accountable for your behavior and do your best to make life a little easier for you and also for him. But having ADHD and autism is not an excuse, but it's an explanation. So that's what I would say. That's what I'd say. And also baby steps, give grace to both of you. I agree. Andrea says, if I have an appointment at 1 p.m., I'm waking up and playing my... Mystic says, are you an affiliate for the drink? So I'm not. Well, actually, you know what? This is on the TikTok shop. So you can buy this for the TikTok shop. And I have not made a video for this yet. So, I should do that today because I use it every single day. So if you have TikTok, the TikTok shop is a great way to make money. And I like to promote products that I use every day. And I do use this product every day. So I really should post about it because I like it. And if you look, they have magnesium, L-theanine, ashwagandha. And for me personally, I've been looking into magnesium and L-theanine as natural supplements. And I'm not here to promote anything, but I use it every single day. And I bought it. I didn't request it as a sample, which I could do. I bought it and I use it every single day. So this would be a good TikTok shop thing to promote because I use it every day. I don't want to promote things that I don't use because it doesn't feel authentic. But I use this every day, and then also the L-methylfolate. I use that every single day. So I'm a big fan of those. The massager, I misplaced it, but I had a massager that I posted about. And I also got off the TikTok shop. I don't know the brand name, but I'm a big fan of it. The way it was massaging my back, it's a little portable device that you put on your back like this. It was massaging my back so good that I grabbed it from my back and I started making out with it. That's how good it was massaging my back. I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so." It was such a great product. But I need to find it. I don't know why I lost it. I need to find it. Anyone have a Ram song jingle stuck in your head right now? I don't, but what's the Ram song stuck in your head? I'm interested in what's in your head, Andrea. Synchronicity says, I take magnesium and L-theanine. I love the L-methylfolate too. So look, if you're big on magnesium, L-theanine, and methylfolate, that's another way of telling me that you're neurodivergent. because I like all three of those. I really do. I like all three of those. Mine is reach. Oh, reaching. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That vocal sim is stuck in my head from TikToks. I want you to get the commission. I was in sales. Mystic Soul, you know what? I will make the videos. Like I know to make it, and you want to get the commission, but sometimes I forget. So I need to do that. I need to do that. And Nicole says, why do I have a streak of great accomplishments in a week of not being able to do anything? It's because building habits is difficult for us as neurodivergents. So that could be your idea of consistency. So just keep that in mind. If you want to be consistent every single day, it may not be a realistic thing for you, you know? So if you're consistent for a week, then maybe a week is kind of hard for you. Just get back on track the next week. Because I have weeks like that too, which is why I always make content in advance, because I never know when like a 3-day depressive funk is going to hit me, you know? So I always try and make content in advance. Oversharing. Oh, that ain't oversharing. That's the truth. That thing was massaging me so good. I was like, I thought it was a human. Oh yeah, I gotta make one for the methylfolate as well. I gotta make some TikTok shot videos. So clearly I've been slacking. And so who asked that question? Who asked that question? Wandering Nicole. Let me reread that again. Why do I have a streak of great accomplishments than a week of not being able to do anything? So for Wandering Nicole, if you're watching this, let's just talk about the TikTok shop products for a second. I made a couple of videos promoting some items on the TikTok shop, and the videos were used by the brand. And if you go on TikTok and you look like on the TikTok shop page, my face and my videos I had about 3 videos that were on the TikTok shop official page of my face, and I was making money from these items. I said, this is so cool. I'm making money at the TikTok shop. And then guess what I did? I forgot to make more videos. And why would I stop? I wouldn't stop on purpose, because who wants to stop the money? But I just forgot. I just literally forgot. I forgot. I really forgot. So now I got to get back on it. I just got to get back on it. So even with things like money and making money, sometimes we'll forget. So now I don't judge myself. I'll just say, Kojo, just make some more videos instead of, slacking or macking. People swear I be macking. That's one thing I've realized about myself. If I tell people that, oh no, I'm just doing my thing, I'm not really talking to anybody, nobody believes that. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I got 5 laughs, 4 laughs. But I will do one for the methylfolate and this one. Anzi, baby, got diagnosed with inattentive ADHD at 33. My autism evaluation is this Friday. I mask hard. Any advice? Yeah, I got some advice for you. Tell your clinician that you mask hard. Let them know, because it clears the air. Let them know, hey, I'm nervous and I mask hard. That will allow you to kind of like let your guard down, and you won't be thinking about what type of personality you need to embody for the appointment. So that way you can just be yourself. This is funny. I'm weak. This is funny. I almost thought it was good now. All that girlfriend wife. You know what? Leilani, you're right. If the people are confused, I have thrown the fuel on top of the fire of confusion. So I've made them even more confused. I definitely accept that. And I'll definitely play into that for sure. I'll definitely play into that for sure. And then someone TikTok says, what you did to your girlfriend was not right. All right, well, don't tell my wife then. My goodness. All right. Ricky, I know I'm weak. Let me see. Thursday. Thursday. It was a travel week. It's a travel week. Thursday. Okay, we still will have a live stream Thursday. Yep. Yeah, we still. Um, no, I'm definitely in a situationship with my singleness. I'd say that this makes sense for me right here. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I don't have the time that people think I have to be out here shucking and hawking. I do meditate. I'm a big fan of meditation, and I love it. I don't do it daily though. I do like 3 or 4 times a week. I need to make it a daily practice because whenever I meditate, I feel so much better, and I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better at doing nothing. Meditation is awesome, and I've been thinking about doing some streams where we just meditate, and we may do that because I've never seen anybody have a stream where we just meditate. It looks like Chase is a fan of that, like just meditating. Like people come out here and we just meditate for 15 minutes. I think that'd be pretty cool. So I've had a lot of answers come to me whenever I meditate. Sweat Lodge. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what Sweat Lodge is. And someone says, how do you know when to record every time? I have good timing. That's why. So we know exactly when to run the cameras. And, I know how to capture the autism on camera. Like, I have really good timing with that. Meditation is good. Need to get into that. Should we bring those to the... You can bring those if you want to. That'd be funny. You can bring those to the show if you want to. That'd be funny. I'll carry some notes with me because there's a lot of topics that I want to talk about. I have a lot of thoughts on my mind that I want to say out into the world in Nashville. I got a lot of thoughts, a lot of thoughts. So I definitely want to get those out. I will have a little notebook with me so I can get these thoughts out because they need to be spoken out there into the world. They need to come out of me. Traditional Native American sweat. Okay. Sure. Yeah, for sure. I've never done that, but wouldn't be opposed to learning about that traditional Native American sweat. I'd be down for that. And before we end the stream, let me go ahead and reread those show notes once again. The show dates, actually, once again. All right. So, and if you're watching me and you follow me on Instagram, I want to say thank you for 800,000 followers on Instagram. We just hit 800,000 last week or so. So it means a lot to me. And now we're 806. We're pushing towards 1 million. And when it comes to numbers, I do believe that it's vanity metrics. It's, at this point, we have a large audience. So, 6 million followers, just counting followers to get to 7, 8, 9, 10 million doesn't mean, that much to a lot of people. But for me, every follower means something. It means that we're getting bigger, we're getting larger, and that people are gravitating to the message. So I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to me. So for my people on Instagram, we hit 800,000. We're pushing for 900 and 1 million after that. And same with all the other platforms. So just the fact that people will come on the channels and watch and support, it means a lot to me. What does my mom say about that? My mom, I'm just my mom's son. None of this is spectacular to her. Like, she doesn't understand. I don't think my parents understand the magnitude of this. I'm just their son. I'm not a star to my parents at all. Like, they're proud. I think they're more proud of me getting my doctorate and becoming a doctor more than social media. So they're, I appreciate their appreciation. Chase says, as a teen, before I was diagnosed, I came up with a theory of not thinking at all and only doing whatever my basic instincts guided me too, and I thrived for a while like that. Our basic instincts tend to be pretty accurate. Tends to be pretty accurate. We can do a lot sometimes. Sometimes we do the wrong thing, but we can go pretty far based off of our intuition. Wish upon a pedal. Well, we are proud of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I do feel the love from this community. I really do feel the love for this community. I really do feel the love. And I feel y'all being proud of what we've accomplished here comprehensively as a group, which is why I enjoy. I look forward to these live streams, and same thing with the comedy shows. The comedy shows are like an in-person live stream. I feel like that's how it is. So all the appreciation, it means a lot to me. It means a lot. And with me meditating more often, I've been thinking about how cool it is, like how cool this moment and how cool everything is. So thank you so much. It's super cool for me. It's super cool for me. Why is it easier to write down things and speaking your feelings in the moment? Sometimes it's hard to say what we want to say. Sometimes we don't know what we want to say. Do you think we have better intuition than neurotypicals? On average, I think we do. On average, I think we do. Our intuition is pretty rock solid, and it comes from really good pattern recognition skills. Like we've seen things happen before. So, let's jam. Okay, Chase, I'm about to bring me a guitar on stage. You have to bring me a guitar on stage. Let me read out the comedy shows once again. I don't want to end the stream without reading them out. Guys, to recap the shows that we have coming up, the very next show is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. We have 2 shows. Doors open at 5:30. The show starts at 6:30 for the first show. The second show starts at 8:45 p.m. Doors open at 7:30. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. for the second show in Nashville. First show sold out. The second show, we still have tickets. So, and they're going fast. They're going fast. So I would say that the second show is going to be sold out at this rate. Yes, it is at Zany's. It is at Zany's. Both shows at the Zany's Lab. So that's Nashville, Tennessee, May 31st. Before I get to New York City, I just want to say that the fact that we sold out even one show in Nashville, that means a lot to me. Nashville is my hometown, so I get to come back home. I get to come back home to a sold out show. I will never forget that moment. I just won't. I'm having, of course, I'm writing. I'm making sure that I get all my thoughts out, my funny thoughts, and my thoughts that I think are interesting, and I want the crowd to know about me. But it's not lost on me how amazing that is, that we would sell out a show in Nashville and even add a second show. So that's so cool. So thank you so much. That's so cool. And I'm excited. That's May 31st in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Then after that, a week and a half later, we head out to New York City. We're closer to 2 weeks later. We head to New York City. That's June 11th at Rodney's Comedy Club in New York City. So that's June 11th, 7:30 Eastern Time, because New York is on the East Coast. Then a week after that, we're going to be in Chicago, Illinois at the Comedy Bar. There are still tickets left for the first show in Chicago, but it's looking like it's going to sell out. So the venue added a second show. In Chicago, the first show starts at 7 p.m. The second show starts at 9:15 p.m. in Chicago. So it's Jace, yo, you're coming made me laugh. I love my train of thought. That's funny. I appreciate that. That made me laugh. It threw me off. We had a great time in Houston, though. We had a good time. Chicago is June 18th, Chicago, Illinois. 2 shows, 7 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. Tickets are still available for both, and there's a meet and greet on both. Then we're coming to Boston, July 24th. July 24th. Friday is at 7 p.m. Then the next day is a Saturday night. We'll be in Springfield, Massachusetts, July 25th. September 17th on a Thursday night, we'll be in Phoenix or Chandler, Arizona. Then December 3rd on a Thursday night, we'll be in San Diego, California. So that'll be pretty cool. OKC's ghetto. That's funny. I've never been to OKC. I want to go to Oklahoma City. I know it's like 3 hours from Dallas. I just never made the drive up there, but I definitely want to go to OKC at some point and check it out. Rico Rose, I appreciate that. I appreciate the people who have found the content and have gravitated towards it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. And San Diego is December 3rd. So San Diego, December 3rd. And Mystic Soul said she called the club in Nashville and they squeezed her into the VIP. You took the initiative. That's awesome. Man, I'm excited for Nashville right now. I'm excited for Nashville right now. I'm excited. Sapphire, I hope to see you at a show one of these days. Hope to see you. And OKC won. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So they're up 3-2 now. Whew. And Leilani, your Knicks are in the finals. Let me take some time and congratulate the New York Knicks for making the NBA Finals. It's been 27 years. Your New York Knicks are in the finals. So congratulations to the Knicks. Congrats to the Knicks. I think that's fantastic. And the NBA Finals may be in New York while we are in New York City. So that would be cool for me. And also, actually, our show's on Thursday, and there's no game on Thursdays, the game on Wednesday. So I'm going to be in New York City in the middle of Knick Mania, which is going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see that. I know Lovita wants the Spurs to win as well. So it'd be cool if Spurs play the Knicks, but OKC's up right now. I think that the series is going 7, so we got to see. I feel like it's going to go 7. So we'll see. And Chase, when I come back down to Houston, I had a good time at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. When I come back to Houston, I wouldn't mind playing there again or at a different place. I just wish that the parking situation was a little bit better. I didn't like the fact that people were having to pay the valet fee on top of, kind of didn't like that. But I wish, either way, Houston was so good. Houston was dope. So I really, I appreciate everybody who came out in Houston. So we had an amazing time. We'll see you in Nashville. We'll see you in Nashville. All right, says VIP. That's funny. We'll see you in Nashville. I'm looking to add a show in Dallas later this year. Rachel, I'm looking to add a show in Dallas. We're still looking. We are still looking. Kat says, I found you again. Kat, hello. So yeah, that's what we have going on. Next live stream is going to be this Thursday at 6 o'clock, California time, Seattle time. We actually started on time today, so pretty cool. I guess that's why we went for so long, but we started on time today, which is cool. Look at me starting on time, or like 7-10 minutes late. You get a grace period. Next live stream will be this Thursday at 9 o'clock East Coast time. So that's 9 o'clock New York time, 8 o'clock Nashville time, 7 o'clock Phoenix time, 6 o'clock Seattle time, 5 o'clock Alaska time, 4 p.m. Hawaii time, 2 a.m. United Kingdom London time. So we didn't see Patrick on the live stream today, but for people like Patrick who are in London, during the UK manic hours around 2-3 a.m. we'll be live streaming. So just let y'all know that. Go, so I appreciate that. And Chicago, Jillian's asking about the Chicago show. I'll read the Chicago show time one more time before we end the stream. Chicago, June 18th on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. That's going to be the show at the Comedy Bar. Then we have added a second show in Chicago, June 18th. Once again, that's at 9:15. So we have 2 shows in Chicago, Illinois. It's going to be an amazing time. And I know it doesn't mean much to y'all, but my 2 of my childhood friends are flying to Chicago, and they're going to hang out with me in Chicago that week. So that's going to be it's going to be fun for them to come and see just how we do everything. They'll be in a green room with me, and we'll roll out the red carpet so they can see how I live. But that's going to be super, super, super cool. Super cool. Your autism says you're late, bro. Facts. Definitely was a little late, but not too bad. Not too bad. Synchronicity Health. I appreciate you. So I'll see you all at the next live stream. That's this Thursday, 9 o'clock East Coast time, 6 o'clock West Coast time. Until then, peace. Take care. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. And do your best to get some rest. I'll do the same as well, okay? I won't be a hypocrite. Let's do our best to get some rest. See y'all in 2 days. Peace.